Jay, if you're the streamer, can you post a live link for us? There,
No.
thanks.
That's a link to the sine wave channel. It's not the live link, but that's where you want to be. If you just refresh it once we know we've gone live, then you'll see the live link on that page. Sorry,
I'm
can you actually hear us now?
I'm guessing he cannot. That's why he wants the link.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, we'll need to run through that with him later on, I think.
Okay, apparently we are live on YouTube.
Indeed we are.
So cue the introduction music. Oh, we need a theme. We need some theme music.
La la.
We'll have to
There we go.
Ride of the Valkyries.
anything. The more dramatic, the better. Robert Duvall standing on the shores. No, we won't go into that film. Okay. Hi, hello everybody. Welcome to Office Hours. Let me try and get my voice to work and my words to come out. What we've got today is an interview with the legendary Kathryn Yer that you all know of from 381 Club. So, hi, Kat. How are you?
Hello, yes, I'm doing fine, thanks. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad. We've just been on calls for the last 2 hours, it seems like, so we're right warmed up now. So let's sort of get some background on you as a creator. What sort of things drew you into creating and being involved in virtual worlds?
Well, how I got involved in virtual worlds was one morning I've always had computers around me, but I never got into gaming as such. And one morning I was watching a tech program on our local television here in Northern Ireland, and they were doing a review of Second Life. And
Oh,
Second
right.
Life was blowing up really big at that point. And curiosity got the better of me. I decided to log in and try Second Life and instantly got hooked. When I was in there, I learned I could mix stuff out of primitives at first. I took a few classes and started making stuff in Second Life. And then after more research, it prompted me to play with stuff like Blender and get into coding and eventually into Unity.
So you're the kind of whole package 3D person then. You've gone through coding, you do mesh design, the whole thing?
The whole thing, yes. I started in between, then I took a break from Second Life for quite a long time. In between, I started working just making my own game inside of Unity.
Yeah.
Of course, I hooked up with BB. I met BB, who's Tyler, who does the majority of the coding for our stuff in Sciencebase. I met up with him and playing a game called Arcade, and we became friends. And we've been coding and working with Unity and Blender ever since.
So you were messing around with Unity then. So at what point did Sciencebase come into the picture? Where did you sort of see Sciencebase and you joined? How did that come about?
Just one night I was looking on the internet. I was looking for a new game to play, and Sciencebase popped up on one of the searches I'd done for games. And I looked at it and I went, a new virtual world? I'm going to go and take a look at this. And I logged in and made a character, made Kathryn here and came in and I got hooked on it. Once I learned that it could be combined with Unity, which I'd already been working with, I was like,
Yeah,
this
that's
is
got to be a
awesome.
massive. Yes. I started with Unity first, and when I sort of found Sciencebase, I was looking for a way of making Unity easier to come out with the whole package. and as I sort of said to you earlier, that you kind of seem to be the whole package. The bit that I was missing was I couldn't control avatars. So the fact that Sciencespace offered me a way of putting a region in, and the avatar system was all set up for me, was a huge bonus, and it sped the design of what I wanted up. So yeah, I
Yeah.
can see where you're coming from. For people who've struggled with Unity, the bonus with Sciencespace is you cut half of the Unity work out. Really, I think.
Yeah, for me, I had no problem actually controlling my avatars in Unity. The problem was I kind of live in a world where I imagine going beyond what I can actually do with the building games. I wanted to
Yeah.
go multiplayer, and multiplayer is extremely hard to do for a single person. It's hard to do for a big group of coders and a team
Well,
working.
this
But
is the testing when you're on a network. Trying to test a network system just
yep,
with yourself is a little bit impossible, really.
it is indeed. Yep.
Yeah.
So doing that is extremely and learning about a network system and learning how to connect and allow other players to connect and store their information. It's quite a lot of work.
Yeah, yeah. It's a bit of a learning curve, but it's rewarding in the end, I think, when you see your
Yeah.
own products being used by people, and you've made some products that have gone into the shop, haven't you?
Yes, I have. Of course, everybody knows the radios and the dance ball,
Yeah.
and we're working on the contest board at the moment. So
Oh,
hopefully,
is voting, or how does that work?
yeah, it's the exact same contest board that I've been using that many people know from the 381 Club, which is basically you'll be able to enter in what you're given for a prize, enter in how many prizes are going to be given, whether it's 1, 2, or 3, and you'll be also then people can enter it, and everyone else that's at the club can vote for them.
That sounds awesome. How close are you? I mean, when might that be seen in the shop?
We're very close, actually. We're very close at the minute. We have a working prototype, but BB wasn't happy with it and wants to update it a little bit before we actually put it out. He's such a perfectionist.
He's a bit of a stickler, isn't he? Yeah,
He is.
Phoebe.
Yeah.
Okay, well, maybe when it does come out, we can invite you back and you can give us a demo of it or something like that.
That would be great. Yes, indeed.
I know you're always working on things, so there might be something else we can talk about later as well. So let us know when that competition system goes live and we can all have a look at it. I think that'd be a good feature for us.
Yeah. Yeah, people have been asking us to release it for a long time, but fortunately BB has been a little bit slow in getting it done, but he's getting there.
Oh, well, little and often.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
is getting there.
Okay, so let's talk about your club. So when you came to Sciencespace, did you have the intention of setting up a nightclub, or did that come along afterwards?
No, once I logged in and been in Sciencespace for probably about maybe 3 weeks, I thought, this is a good place to set up a club. There's streaming music. I could definitely do something here. So I set about building the 381 Club. Of course, I didn't know at that point that it was going to be called the 381 Club. I just set about building a club.
Right.
And I ended up with the 381 Club.
So how did you end up with the name 381 Club, since you didn't have the name to begin with? Is it
Well-
anything to do with that thing about what is it? 381, 3 words, 8 letters and 1 meaning. I love you. Is that what it was?
No, unfortunately not. That's a good one, but unfortunately not. It's a much simpler story about.
Oh, I
The
thought I
fact
was
that
right,
when I-
guess, and I was wrong.
Yeah, I'm sorry. No, I basically was building the club and I was building the dance floor with the square coloured squares on the floor. And I'd put it in and I'd done the animation, and when I looked down from above, I seen that it said 381 on it, and I needed a name for the club, and I just thought, 381 rhymes with fun, so 381 for fun.
Goodness. So
did me.
you had a bit of an epiphany in the naming then. It just came out of the floor at you.
It did indeed. It just popped out.
Almost as named itself.
Yeah, it's stuff it was meant to be.
A quaint little story there, yeah. Because 381 has been a staple nightclub of Science Space since as long as I've been here, anyway, way before I was here. So it's kind of, gone through, stood the test of time, and is still thriving strongly, which is good.
Yeah, and we're very appreciative of all the regulars that come to it on a Friday, or sorry, on a Saturday and a Sunday night and a Wednesday night. It's been good, so it has. It's been totally awesome and overwhelming that so many people come and hang out at the club.
Yeah, because you've got a background in DJing, haven't you? In what we shall call the real world.
I have indeed, yes, indeed. 10 years of DJing in the real world. I
Right.
started
So how
when
did-
I was in my 20s.
Okay. So
Yeah,
some years ago,
I-
we won't say how many.
will not say no, not how many. No, I started. I was around 20, and I got asked by my mum to take my younger sister to the high school disco, and I took her along to the disco, and I seen all the DJs and the lights going and stuff, and I'm like, I want to do that. And I came home and I says, look, I'm going to DJ, and everybody went, no, you can't DJ. Don't be silly. Do something else. You can't DJ. And I'm like, I'm going to DJ.
So did
So
you, as age, go through a lot of little fads that you wanted to do, and they didn't believe you because you'd had lots of ideas, or why were they saying you can't DJ?
I don't know. My family was just like that. They were just, yeah, anything out of the normal, like working in a shop or, or standing behind a counter or something like that, that then they would have been all for it. But because it was a bit out there for a girl in them days to DJ, well, yeah,
Yeah,
they
gotcha.
were a bit like, you can't do that. But I got myself a mail order catalogue, and there was a full DJ kit in the mail order catalogue, which I proceeded and bought. And I think at that time it cost me around £650 or £700 in UK
Right.
money, which
Yeah.
was quite a bit in them days. And yeah, I bought that, and I advertised for DJ work. And of course, I'm sure you know that trying to advertise for DJ work's near impossible.
Yeah.
Um,
A lot of word of mouth stuff with DJing, isn't
yeah. Well, I had the stuff lying about me for a good, must have been somewhere around 6 or 8 months. And I just got totally fed up one night, and my mum's garden at the side of the house, she was on an end house, and it faced out into a public car park. And I
Right.
said to my brother to pull out the stuff, and we stuck it all out into the garden and faced it out into the car park. And about 8 on a summer's evening, I started blasting music.
it? Okay.
And,
How did it go down then?
and the car park filled with people. It was amazing. The car park filled with people, and people were having a good time out in the car park. There was people dancing even in the car park.
So you're telling me that you
crazy.
started the illegal rave movement then in your car park, did you?
Well, it wasn't quite rave, but it was good 80s music.
Right.
Yeah, and at about 11 o'clock at night, the police came.
Right. To join the
They-
party.
No, unfortunately not. They came to stop the party. They came and they're like, do you have an entertainment's license? And I'm like, no. Then they goes, well, I didn't know I needed one. And they're like, plead ignorance. And they're like, right, you better take all that stuff in before we take it away with us. So I
Right.
had to pack it all up, and I took it in the house. And
Oh,
the
well.
next day, a couple of local lads who wanted to DJ, they came and offered me money for the gear, and I'd got no work, so I went and I stupidly sold it to them.
Did you make a
Because-
profit?
No, sadly not. I sold them for slightly
That'd be good
less
if you-
than I actually
Before did
paid
one
for.
gig and sold it for more money the next day. That's right on that.
But no, sadly not. And then the
Oh.
next day, I get this guy comes and goes, I heard you play the other night at the car park. I wonder if you would do my wedding reception.
No. Oh, what did you do?
So I ended up, I had to go and go back to the two guys that I'd sold the stuff to and hire it off them to do the show.
So it ended up being a bit of an expensive do for you.
It was, well,
that
they
kind
hired
of
it
start.
a
career.
reasonable price, so I still made some money out of it, but not as much as I would if I'd have kept the gear.
Right, yeah.
But then I basically done his wedding reception, and there was a guy there who was a local DJ and had been for quite a long time, but he was getting tired of DJing, and he wanted, I don't know how he could have got tired of DJing, but he was, and he wanted to pack in, and he'd heard me DJ, and he's like, come you with me to do some shows, and if you do okay, I'll get you more and more work. And it went on from there, and I ended up doing police and army, and we have the Ulster Defence Regiment, the UDR over here, and I ended up doing for them. And yeah, I ended up just doing so much shows, and that I was working continuously.
Right. Okay. I'm just catching up in chat there. It seems Surrey wants to know why Amanda never talks to him. Amanda's
Oh.
your...
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a bit upset that his chat up lines aren't working on it. Can you sort that out for him, do you think?
I think we could maybe program something into Amanda to make her do something.
Yeah, I mean, he's getting right upset. Like, why she won't dance with me? I even wore a suit. Have you found? I mean, I've seen that a lot when I had some NPCs at Ziggy's. There was a couple of guys came in and started chatting the female NPCs up, and the rest of us are in there just chuckling away because he's really desperately trying to make a conversation and get nothing back, thinking he's being snubbed. And none of us wanted to ruin the kind of illusion, but we had to put him out of his misery and say that's not going to talk to you. You know, it's not real. Well, it's not as real as us avatars are, anyway.
He's not the first one to try Amanda.
Yeah. In fact, I think it was the 381 Club, the first region. When I first turned up in Science Space, I had a tour from one of the members of staff, and they took me to the 381 Club, and I fell in that same trap with Amanda, thinking there was another avatar there, and I said hello, and you know, so I've been there, so I do it to other people now. It's fun.
Yeah, it's definitely fun.
And 381 tonight, and Surrey thinks he's going to get lucky tonight. Amanda is real, so humour him, change out the NPC for a real avatar, and don't tell him because he can't hear them. Not listening in on this conversation.
That would be fun. Yeah.
Would be. Oh, that's great. Yeah, there's an event on for everybody tonight that doesn't know, and you should know. The 381 is on tonight at, what time is it? 10 UTC?
10 UK time, that would be 9 UTC, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
UTC,
Oh, hang on. No, not. Wait a minute. Let me think. It's
Sorry,
1
no,
o'clock.
it's 11, yeah, 10 UTC, it's 11 o'clock.
Time.
Max.
8. Yeah, that's. I hate time zones. I wish the world could banish time zones. It all exist on the same set of clocks. It's just ridiculous having to change times when you're working with different people from all around the world.
Yeah, that's right. Sorry, now 2300.
Yeah, that's good. Thanks for clarifying that. Yeah, so
2200.
all of us are going to be at the 381 Club tonight. I will pop in, even if I'm only in there for a little while, but I will make sure I drop in and make an appearance and get my free drinks that you're going to offer me, aren't you?
Yeah, no, plenty of free drinks at the bar. It's all free.
I don't know how we make money on our clubs because we give all the drinks away for nothing, don't we? But we never
Yeah,
have to buy
we
stock.
do.
It always seems to be there somehow,
It's magic.
isn't it?
Well, it looks
Okay.
like Surrey won't be going to visit Kat, it'll be going to visit Amanda.
Amanda and Surrey in a tree, K-I-S-S-I-N-G, and all that. Okay. I mean, it's been good hearing from you and sort of knowing a little bit of your background. Is there anybody in the audience that wants to ask Kat any questions or any comments? That's either a no or everybody's stumbling to find their mute button so they can turn their mic on. Okay, we got it coming in chat. A question about the silver giving dance. Is that something you can implement in your own region, a reward thing? I could answer that, but I'll let you answer that, Kat.
Okay, no. Well, it is and it isn't.
Yeah.
That's a simple answer. If you can code, if you can code and get a key, an API key from Adam, yes, then it is something you could implement. We could put them on sale. I take it you're talking about the dance pads, and we can put them on sale on the store if you want. And yeah, we'd be quite happy to do that.
Yeah, just to fill in the details, Rob, yes, there is a silver giving component in the editor pack, but you do have to be a kind of a Unity person to actually put a prop up with that. But yeah, it can be done. We've got the mechanisms to do it, and there's various ways you can give different things out. Yes, of course I can. I remember that Surrey's listening on YouTube. Hi, Surrey on YouTube. Something by drink at the Well Bar and have
Any further audio and video projects? Well, we're as well as doing the contest board, the code that BB's working on will be used to re-network the radios, so we'll be improving the radios after the contest board. That's the plan anyway.
Right.
So not really anything new per se on the audio. I mean, the radios are radios, and we can make different skins and stuff. But of course, our attachable radio, you can attach it to any basically furniture item you like at the moment. So you could turn these chairs into radios or anything.
Yeah, that's a real clever prop that you've got there. It means that you don't have to rely on the region that you're in actually having a radio or putting a prop down. If you can wear it as a prop, you're not governed by the restrictions on the region. So that's,
to be honest with you, sorry, that all depends on BB. It all depends on Tyler and how he's doing. He's got a little bit of a sore jaw at the moment. His jaw's come up in a lump and he's waiting to go for an MRI. So he's still coding, but he tends to take breaks for a day or two at the moment.
I hope he's all right.
When he's in pain with the jaw. I hope so too. I hope so too. They don't know what it is at the moment.
Strange. Yeah, Tyler is BB, which is Kat's partner in crime.
BB8448.
He's a bit of a demon coder, is BB.
Yep.
Yeah, totally. Anything I've learned as far as Lua and science-based Lua particularly, I've learned from BB. He's taught me what I know, and but he's way advanced, more advanced than I am.
Because you met BB, I guess, in Second Life rather than in Science Space. You've known him for longer than you've been here, I think, haven't you?
I met BB whilst playing a game called Arcade. I'm a huge MMO player. I love playing MMO games like World of Warcraft, Arcade, Black Desert. I was playing Arcade at the time, and he was in my guild, and I was just at that point starting to learn Unity and C#, and he's like, "Oh, I know coding. I'll give you a hand." So we got on Skype, and we've been doing it ever since.
Yeah, that's good. That's nice. Is there anything that you, Kat, would like to see in Science Space? Yeah, Surrey's asking if there's anything you personally would like to see in Science Space, not including stability and fixes, but anything that you're really wanting to be in Science Space.
Yes, there's a few things that would make building games. I mean, the current way of the networking for the first person shooter is fine if you're just doing a first person shooter. But yeah, I would really love to see networking being part of uploading a region
Mm-hmm.
rather
It
than
makes sort of sense.
separate components.
I'm not quite with you. Can you sort of go into more detail on that?
Yes, well, at the moment, the networking's basically two scripts. BB knows more about the networking than me, but it's basically two scripts. You upload a network script, and then
Right.
you have the script on whatever furniture item or whatever NPC that you have, and the two talk to each other. But I
Okay.
would have liked to have seen the networking being implemented in the background, and you just having to put your script on your NPC and write it to communicate with that already running in the background network, if you know
So
what I
you're
mean.
saying server script is something that was sort of fixed by us in Sciencebase rather than you having to write the server script sort of built in that sense?
Yeah, I
Yeah, I
think
can
it would
see.
have been easier if the server scripts had sort of been put in to Sciencebase, if the server backend had been in Sciencebase there, and all you had to do was write the code to communicate with the server.
Yeah, I see where you're coming from. So is the server side script pretty standard every time then, and you just have to repeat it?
Yeah, that's pretty standard as far as I can understand. But as I say, BB knows more.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
we were quite
You were-
we'd asked for we'd ask for stuff because syncing up NPCs and syncing up animations and stuff is quite challenging.
Oh, talk to Richie about that one. You like animations and syncing across the network,
Yeah,
don't
I
you,
don't
Richie?
want to talk about it.
It's
I
caused us a
don't
bit of headaches, so we sympathise with you and empathise there.
I don't even honestly I don't even know how BB achieved getting the dance ball to have synchronization between players. I
No.
mean, because of course the dance ball, if you type another player's name in the sync field,
Yeah.
and as long as you have the capitalization and the letters either big or small where they are in the person's name exactly, and you hit sync, you'll dance the same dance as somebody else on the dance ball's dancing, so and it'll be synced, which
Yeah, I mean,
BB done
it's
an excellent job on it.
a real popular feature of your dance ball, that sort of facility to be able to sync the dancers. It's good.
By the
I
way,
didn't,
we also have the ability to sell more dances that can then be added to the dance ball. We've got
really?
that working. Yes, indeed. The trouble is neither one of us are dance animators, and it's getting animations to add to the dance ball. But we have the Michael Jackson Thriller dance that can be added to the dance ball, and when everybody syncs it really and goes along with Thriller, it looks awesome. That will
Well,
be on sale before Halloween.
that's a holy grail I've been messing around with for the last 2 or 3 Halloweens with a prop of zombies doing Thriller. So I've got a prop that does that, but I haven't yet transferred it into an animation I can get everybody syncing with. And that's exactly what Richie was trying to do the last time I think we looked at it. And although we got some success with it, we didn't continue with the project because it was a sideline project. It wasn't work. It was something we just wanted to mess around with. But yeah, syncing dancing is kind of an almost expected feature in virtual worlds, I think. Although you may not sync up with everybody in a real club, when you're with friends, you do tend to dance the same jigs around each other kind of thing. So, being able to sync it lends to the believability that you're in, to suspend to suspend your disbelief and let your mind imagine you're in a real club. It all adds
Oh,
to
when
that
we
atmosphere.
released the Thriller dance, you basically buy it. It's basically just a cube, and if you have the dance ball in your region, you place the cube on the as a furniture item, and
Yeah.
as soon as you place it, the cube will vanish, and the dance will be added to the dance ball.
Wow. So can I get some new dancers now to put into my dance ball?
Yeah, once I put the Thriller dance on, you'll be able to buy it and put it in your dance ball, and it'll be on
So
the list for everyone.
are there any other dancers up yet, or is that the first one that will be added?
That's
Or
the
can
first one. That's the first one I've done. As I said, it's trouble getting animations that we can work with and resell that we're allowed to resell, as you know, and we're not animators. That's a
yeah.
whole different ball game of doing that. I've done some animation stuff, just like seats and stuff at the 381 Club. I made the animations for them, but dance animations is a whole
It's
new
different.
ball game.
I mean, the problem is that you've got to animate every single limb, but unlike normal movement, which is relatively restricted, say walking is just swinging an arm, you're coordinating nearly every muscle or bone in the body to achieve dancing. It's far more work to get that subtlety of fluency, isn't it?
I think we need some dances like Cat being a real life DJ. She'll understand this. We need a few dances like the time warp and the oops upside your head, and
Oh yeah.
Ones that lend themselves to the whole audience joining in for fun, that kind of thing. I mean, I've even thought, could we get a can together? Because yes, on Mixamo there's various dancers that you can get hold of. Couple dancers, another thing. Monks is the only one who so far has really tackled that one, I think, which was very successful. But there's only the one in the shop, so yeah, more couple dancers would be good.
Yeah, it's extremely hard to get the animations at the moment,
Yeah.
and else you can make your own. And I don't have mocap.
No, I don't, and I
Unfortunately.
don't even dance. So even if I had mocap, the dances I would
Yeah,
create mocap would be awful.
that's another problem. I mean, even you had the mocap, as you say, set up. It's
You-
getting somebody to do the dances, especially
Yeah,
couples dances. You need a couple to dance.
yeah, you do. Anything coordinated, it's got to be perfect. So unless you're both very good at dancing, it's really hard to get the thing recorded. Not that I've ever tried. I don't think I really want to. I'm happy with my space mouse I've just bought for now as
I
my new
think-
toy.
Yeah,
I-
Exilian saying there about the Kinect cameras. Funny enough, I did buy some Kinect cameras to try it, but apparently there's a new one out, a new Kinect sensor out that is very good for doing mocap, but they're quite expensive. I think they're like £300 or £400 a piece. So
Yeah.
I think that should be on my to-do list to try and get the Kinect camera to work with dances in World, because we all want to see Sulians dancing now.
I mean, there is a dance animation company has come in and started selling dances as
Yes,
gestures and sorry.
I think that's Abram Animations or something like that
Yeah.
that you're talking. Yeah.
Yeah, indeed, and that's great. But of course, we have the dance ball. If we could get somebody to supply dances, we could make them sellable that they could be added to the dance ball. But yeah,
Yeah. Well, if there is anybody out there with any dance animations, certainly get in touch with Kat.
yeah,
I might have a few laying around, so we should have a talk later.
we can work something out.
Yeah, sure. Sometimes I just want them in world. I don't care who makes them. Sometimes,
Yeah.
if somebody else wants to make them, that's great. Saves me the time, kind of thing.
Yeah, the Thriller one. Yeah, we actually had to. It came in pieces. Like it wasn't complete. It was in bits and pieces. And
Yeah, 4 bits,
BB
isn't it?
did it.
I know
Yeah.
what you mean.
Well, BB very cleverly wrote some code that actually spliced it all together into one dance.
Really? I did it, but I did it with an animation controller that had the 4 clips together and transitioned between the two. But that wasn't quite what I wanted. I wanted it as the complete dance that you're talking about Bibby creating. But I went with it.
He done it with a C# script, and it just took all the segments and it spliced them together into to one
Yeah,
one
well,
animation, which was
all right, we'll do
absolutely
it.
brilliant.
I'll give you some dancers, and you give me that Thriller complete clip.
Okay.
We'll negotiate later. Anybody else got any questions? Or everybody has nipped off to get some coffee? I'm not sure.
Cameras. Oh, I'll
Have a
have
Can
bit.
you
some.
have a
Yes,
biscuit?
Robbie.
Yes.
He's got the cookies. Okay, Kat. Well, it's been great
Well,
having you.
I,
Okay,
I've got one question. I've got a question. I
go
would
on.
hate
Go
not
ahead.
to ask. Okay, Kat, what astonishes me is how you just keep on DJing event after event after event after event. And I know you DJ in other virtual worlds. How do you keep it up? How do you persist that relentless schedule of DJing? Because I think that's fascinating that you keep the energy up and work with the crowds. It's just on my mind. I know maybe that's just what impresses me a lot when I go to your events. Over.
Um, well, at the moment I don't DJ in any other worlds. I do have a club in Second Life, but I don't DJ there at the moment. But I am solely in Science Space at the moment, DJing here. And yeah, there's the odd night it does get a little bit tiring. I've got to admit, when you're not feeling quite up to it. And I've had my share of illnesses with IBS, which sometimes I can feel okay all day, and it can hit me at about 6 or 7 in the evening, and I can end up feeling rather sick and ill. And those are the nights that I have cancelled. And I do apologise to everybody for those nights, but I try to be there.
No
And give it
apologies
the,
necessary. We do understand, but yeah.
but yeah, I just love music. I love playing music. I love being there. I love chatting to the people and seeing the people here in Science Space having a good time. And it's basically that's what DJing's about. It's the love of music and the love of entertaining people.
And sometimes, even if you're feeling ill, just playing music can lift your spirits. So it's not, I think, although there is a lot of work involved in DJing, a lot of it is also a therapy for DJs. It gets in your blood and you need it sometimes, kind of thing.
Oh yeah, definitely needed at times. It's I think it's like somebody who's worked all their life in a particular job, and they retire and then they find out they've missed their work.
Yeah. And after
So
a year of
for me,
retirement, they're on retainer because they want something to do.
yeah, yeah, and it's that. I mean, I live on my own, and yeah, it's as much entertainment for me as it is for the people that I entertain, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, it totally does. Does that answer your question, Sight?
Thank you. Thank you very much. Yes.
Oh, you're welcome.
Okay, I think Kat's going to stay with us for a little while, but thank you for coming to talk to us today about your stuff. It's been fascinating and the longest interview we've done so far, but we've only done 2, so that's not much of a claim. But
Well,
yeah, it's been
you're
a
welcome,
good.
and thanks for having me here.
No, it's been great. It's been a very informative session. What we're going to do now is our usual little tutorial feature. Dixie is going to talk to you about, I don't know what Dixie's going to talk to you about. Dixie's now going to tell you what she's going to talk about. So are you there, Dix?
Yes, I am. Can everybody hear?
Yes, we can hear you.
Hey, awesome. I always have to check. Kat, that was absolutely wonderful. I love hearing from you. And being an American, I love your accent.
Oh, thank you.
I go crazy over that accent. You're just a wonderful woman, and we all love you so much.
Thank you.
I do have a little bit of a tutorial today. Segue, I'm not very good at those. Um, but I do have a bit of a tutorial today. A lot of people have been asking me about the guide and the greeter program. And so I have a bit of a tutorial on that topic. And I guess I should move to the front and be sociable, yes? Yeah. I'll stand over here by the question mark. Um, so, quite a few people have asked me in the past and the present, including the present especially, what does it take to be a guide or greeter in science space? And first of all, I tend to ask people, do you have the heart of a teacher? Do you like helping people? And if they say yes, I'm like, you could be a guide or a greeter. If you don't like helping people, it's probably not for you, because that's what it's all about, is helping the new community members that come into science base first and foremost. But it's also about helping the older people as well. Um, because sometimes somebody will have a question that you'll be like, oh, that's such a new person thing to say, but they honestly didn't know. So you gotta be able to explain uh, those concepts to the people that have been here for a couple of years as well. Um, so after we get through that, people want to know, what's the difference between a guide and a greeter. Like, we've got a couple here. Jamie Lee's a greeter, and for instance, Mimi Marie is a guide. So what's the difference? Well, greeters are generally the folks with less time in science space, but that's not the only reason they choose to become a greeter or have to become a greeter first. Uh, Greeters spend less time volunteering to help the new community members, so they spend about 5 or less hours per week on the Welcome Center, greeting new people that come in, helping out the more advanced, the older users that come in and may have a question, compared to the guides who spend 5 or more hours a week in the Welcome Center helping these people. Uh, Greeters also can be those that choose to want to become a guide eventually, but they just don't have 6 or more months in science space yet, so they have a bit to learn themselves. Um, Guides tend to be more of the people that have a bit of time under their belt in science space. And they also not only spend time on the Welcome Center, but like Mimi, she takes people out to do tours. She goes to their regions and helps them learn to decorate, more hands on off the Welcome Center area as compared to just saying hi and here's how to walk, here's how to talk, and the basics. She gets a little bit more in depth. And some people even assist in building in unity to a certain extent, um, in helping teach that end of things. Um, when it gets a little bit more advanced, sure, we say, hey, Les, hey, Jay, this guy needs help with X and such, or even we go to Adam, or even higher ups like that for more technical issues or questions. Um, Now, guides and greeters don't need to know everything about science space, but it's nice that whenever you decide to become a guide or a greeter, that you know at least the basics that are posed on the Welcome Center on the boards. How to walk, how to talk, how to fly, how to move around, how to change regions, how to find the event that you want to go to, that sort of things. Guides and greeters both do have a training program, and that should take about 1 hour of your time. And I usually do the training program with them, or Les or Jay or someone else from the community team will be able to conduct that as well. But it does take about an hour of your time. Um, Let me find where I'm at in my notes. So you might be wondering, well, this all sounds great. What do I get out of this deal if I want to become a guide or a grader? Well, number one, you get to help the community. And if you really have the heart of a teacher and you really love to teach folks things, this is the best payoff in the world for me. You're also volunteering to help Science Base, but we do give you a bit of gold compensation as well. You also get a direct line to the community staff in the form of I give my Skype information, I give my Discord information. You also get a special channel in Discord with all the other guides and greeters in that channel so you can communicate with each other. And I'm also currently in the process of setting up a region to where the guides and greeters can go, and it's just them that can go there and communicate with one another by leaving a message on a message board or something like that. Don't have that yet, but that's in the process. So hopefully now you're wondering, okay, I'm ready. I want to become a greeter or I want to become a guide. What do I do? Well, that part's easy. You just contact me or Les or Jay or someone in the community team and we'll get you going. Or you can contact any other guide or greeter, ask them what they feel about the program and how they like it and get some of your research done. We're all great with that. And that person, whoever you contact, will contact one of us staff members and we'll get the ball rolling for you. And I'm reading the chat now, so if y'all have any questions, throw them up in there. Yeah, Rob, once a week I pay the guides, the greeters, and the hosts a little bit of gold. Yeah. And your gold for your event last week should be coming on Sunday. This coming Sunday. So I'm usually about a week behind. A sidearm asks, who decides when a greeter is now a guide? Well, when the greeter has enough time in and has shown that they are interested in becoming a guide and also have followed the criteria that we have set forth in training, they can request to be a guide and we could go over that with that person at that time. And Sidearm asks, who checks the timesheet? Actually, every time I see we have a guide channel in Discord that nobody else can see but staff members and the guides. And whenever they type in that channel, hey, I'm going to the Welcome Center, I check them off on the timesheet and say, okay, they did 1 hour this week. They did 4 hours this week. They did 27 hours this week, like Brad. Or whatever. And yeah, I go off of that. Yes, Brad's always on the Welcome Center. So as soon as I see them say, hey, I'm going to the Welcome Center, or hey, I'm taking this new person to X region, I check them off. Hey, that's, they were there, they did what they're supposed to do. And yes, Mimi points out, greeters and guides are volunteers. We don't make anybody become a guide or a greeter, or else sidearm would already be there.
But then you
Generally,
don't.
I volunteer for I volunteer in real life for NAMI. If anybody knows what NAMI is in the United States, I volunteer for NAMI and I do not get paid at all. I just enjoy volunteering for them.
What do you want to talk about, Jamie? What is it you want to mention? Oh, we can get that looked into, Jamie.
Yeah, I accidentally overlooked Jamie for a couple of her events, so I went ahead and paid her for those this week and let her know I'm so sorry.
Oh,
I
that's
forgot about your events, so I got her caught up.
okay.
Yeah, it was event pay.
No, the gold isn't the motivating feature. It's a desire to help people. Some people are of that nature. Some people are of another nature that maybe doesn't like or doesn't easily help people. It's just horses for courses. So if you want to be a greeter or a guide, you need to be able to greet people or to guide people. Essentially, it's, you know, the job is in the title, really, sort of thing.
Yeah, that's why I always ask people first and foremost if you have the heart of a teacher, because you really need to have the heart of a teacher. I don't know that in all countries of the world, but in my country where I live, teachers don't get compensated very much. They do it for the love of their children, they do it for the love of teaching children. Some do it for the love of teaching adults, and it's not really a pay thing.
Mark, you shouldn't have said that if you haven't been trained, because you're now going to be put through intensive training.
Yes, Mark, I have been trying to get with you about training.
Mark, get in touch with Betty. She's been trying to reach you. Your training is waiting for you.
Yes, you are on the list, Mark. Thank you.
Mark's probably been greeting for, it's a good few months now anyway, isn't it, Mark? Okay, time is creeping up on us. I think we've covered guides and greeters. Is there any sort of last questions on that, if anybody wants to quickly chip in? Or any general questions for the last 7 minutes? Anything anybody wants to talk to us about? Floor is yours. Snowballs, yes. What about snowballs? You mean the snowball fight? Oh, how much longer before we can give gold? The issue with that is, although on the face of it, it seems like a simple thing to do, the gold system is, let's say, very mature and needs really a rewrite before we can implement giving gold directly. There are account implications of tracking the gold when given to make sure there's no, fraud would be the word, essentially, because it would be easy to abuse. I can't go into the details of that because I don't quite understand myself, but there is a mechanism and a whole procedure that needs to be gone into and redevelop the gold system, the account system, essentially, which may or may not be on the agenda for the new devs coming on board. As Adam covered a little bit earlier, and we touched on yesterday, I think at Community Hours, the problem is that although we've got these devs on board, just training one developer can take 3 months to 6 months, and they just haven't been with us long enough to have felt their feet and got into how the system works to be effective. We will see over the coming months that they'll be gradually coming on board, and we're really hoping that we're going to see those results in things getting fixed quicker and attention being paid to more of the parts in the viewer that aren't quite right. I'm diplomatic there. But these 21 developers that the budgets now allow and that we're bringing on board have still got to be trained. So the magic fix isn't going to happen overnight, and software does take years to develop fully. Second Life took a long while to develop before they got to the sort of area they're at now, and we're still on that roadmap. But we know it's a climb and that we're still going through it. We want to bring you with us. So the issues, I've lost track of what I was saying now, but yeah, it's that these developers will eventually sort of pay their way and we will see the dividends, but they've got to be trained first. So that's the period we're in at the moment. Any other questions that I can stumble through? There's some free meth in the shop, is there?
My brain is full. May we be excused. These are great events. I need to recover.
I've got a question. I've got a question. Who's this Richie guy?
Who? Yeah, he keeps cropping up, doesn't he?
Yeah, I don't know that guy.
Probably not important if we don't know him.
Well, whoever he is, he has a big tutorial list he's supposed to be working on.
Oh, he is working on them. That's why he's not here today. All right, then. I think Sidearm, you're excused. Class dismissed. Lesson over, everybody. Thanks for coming along to office hours. Thanks to Kat for giving her time up and talking to us today. Thanks to you guys for being in Science Space, giving us a job in this virtual world to work with. Talk to you soon. See you all next week.